Port Fairy. It's Easter 2000, so nearly just over 10 years. And this is Georgie Gibb and Lily Gibb. I'm sort of here because of my mum. My mum moved about 12 months before I got here. So I knew of Port Fairy through her. And I came here for a lifestyle change. I was living in Adelaide and sort of not really going anywhere. I was 23 and, in a bit of a standstill, and came for a visit and just fell in love with the place. Yeah, the ocean attracted me heaps. In Port Fairy, I work at Port Fairy Consolidated School and I manage the canteen. What I do up there is cook all the food from scratch, so it's all fresh, healthy, nutritional food. I'd call it no numbers food, so it's got no preservatives and no additives in it. When I first started, I wiped out all the white bread and all the things that they were really, really used to, and added in things like fresh smoothies and homemade pizzas, and we do all fresh juices and stuff like that. So the kids have been fantastic with it. They've just embraced the whole idea of it. So it's been great to see how kids can, with a bit of education, how their idea of food can change. It's an easy place to raise kids. It's just they've got their friends really close by. There's a lot of freedom. The girls can go out and ride their bikes outside, and I don't sort of have to be watching them all the time, It makes it really easy. I don't think that being in the city we would have the freedom that we do. Port Fairy community itself, it's a really it's a tight community and filled with some amazing people. There's some amazingly creative and talented people in Port Fairy. I notice, it seems that every day there's more and more people moving here who have come to create in one way or the other. It feels like home to me. I've got no sort of desire to move.
I'm Helen Fennessy and this is my husband Ben, and we've moved down here about a year ago. So we're from Melbourne originally, but left Melbourne in 1978, I think, 77, to move to the bush and hippies basically. So we've come back to where we started, but just in a different landscape.
Yeah, we lived in the Otway Ranges, Jellybrand River, for 10 years and built a mud brick house, and we had a lovely big veggie garden, organic, everything, goats and cows and horses. We always hankered to get back to have a bit of land again and a bit of space around.
Well, it seems like a very relaxed and friendly community. We've only just, I guess, begun to connect with it. I've been volunteering at the community house and did some work for the community house last year and the winter weekends program. So
yeah, and I've connected through my good friend John in there, and he's introduced me to a few other guys, and I met a lot on the folk festival construction team.
I've been studying literature for about 10 years and write when I can, and that's part of being here as well, the solitude, and our children have pretty much left home, so we're at a point now where we can hopefully focus on writing and painting, which is what we sort of always thought we'd do, but it takes a while to get around to.
It has taken a long while. I painted in our double garage at when we lived in Geelong, and that was the studio as well as the garage, but we built a purpose-built studio, and I do lino prints and paintings, large paintings. So I need a lot of space to make a mess, and we may turn it into a bit of a gallery from time to time and have either my pictures or other local artists. There's a lovely community of I think 5 or 6 printmakers in Rosebrook. But I think the special thing about Port Fairy is that it is, a 4-hour trip from Melbourne, and it doesn't seem to be developing the same way that places like Torquay and Lorne, because it is that tyranny of distance, I think.
There's such a lot for a small town in terms of shops and restaurants, and the health service seems extraordinary really for the size of the town. And there's a very strong community spirit.
Victor and I came first down on holiday in 1973 and in summer, and it was awful weather, so we explored the town. The more we looked, the better we liked it. We were camping, and we left our name with the real estate man, Aussie Steel, and asked him to ring when there was a stone cottage on the market.
And after retirement, we had already bought the cottage some time before. We got the building done and moved down here permanently. And that was around about
2000.
About 2000, yes.
We belonged to the Lions and the Historical Society and so many
And Palisters
palaces.
and the History Society.
Yes.
You can be involved in all these things. There's plenty going on in town. Too much, in fact.
I belong to the garden group as well. I joined a lot of things when I lost my vision, and the garden group's on tomorrow. I have dry macular degeneration. It means that I have a little bit of central vision in my right eye, but peripheral in both. They have a very good low vision centre in Warrnambool, and it's so supportive and helpful. It's really good. It's a very good bonding. We have dine-outs and we have good things. We all get together, and you get there and you see the odd guide dog and you think, what have I got to worry about? I have a bicycle, like one of the doctors used to call my trusty Rusty, and it's got a red flag on the back, and yes, I can ride on the footpath with the under 12s, and the police say, and just be careful, because I've been to check this out.
We did have a skull and crossbones, but Judy gave that away to somebody else. And the lady concerned did drive her gopher through the back wall of her garage, I think, but we lost the flag, unfortunately. The great attraction of Port Fairy is that it's basically still a village, where it takes you half an hour to go down to the letterbox, to pick up your mail or whatever, because you'll meet 3 or 4 people that you know. That's the atmosphere in Port Fairy. People care.